Folks, it's going to be an interesting fall real estate market. I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending August 30th, 2023. Fall market, it's here. Seems like all summer everybody's been talking about the fall market and what to expect in a fall market, and lots of people expect big great things from the fall market. Well, that remains to be seen. However, I can tell you one thing that I feel pretty strongly about that I expect. I expect more listings. Let me talk about that a little bit here. There are a ton of sellers that tried to sell earlier in the year. Now, many of these sellers saw prices peak in May, quickly went on the market, and after May, that's when prices turned and they kind of got stuck in the, but those guys sold for this price, why can't I get it? Well, the market turned, so they're not getting it. They did go on the market, and for one reason or another, they've come off the market. But they've been thinking about it that, hey, the fall's gonna be another chance for us to get the price that we want. So we're gonna see a lot of those sellers, excuse me, come onto the market in the fall, September, October. There's a whole bunch of other sellers that did actually also list, and a natural expiration date is August 31st. Just like any sellers that list now, a natural expiration when the listing agreement's filled out is going to be December 31st. Well, if you listed in the spring and you listed or early summer, expiration date, August 31st. There's also sellers that told their listing agent, yeah, just put the listing to the end of the summer. And so that's what's happened. So a lot of these listings have expired in the month of August, the last week of August, and a bunch of them will be relisting. So those are two reasons why I expect more listings in the fall. And the third reason is, and these are first-time sellers. They've not at all listed during the course of, well, the previous in 2023. But they did see the market peak in May and thought, okay, these prices are pretty good, and they thought about selling and they thought about it some more, and some even started to prep their homes and do some painting, and then the market started to shift. These weren't the sellers that actually jumped onto the market. These are the sellers that thought, market's shifting down, let's wait a little more and see what happens. And it continued to come down, and they waited a little more, and they didn't go on the market. But their home is ready, and they spent the summer, and they thought, well, it's July and August. These are typically the lowest months of the year. September, October, those are really good months, and they're going to be coming onto the market for the first time right now in the fall. So because of those reasons, I expect the listing inventory to come up. There's a bunch of, and a lot of this is seasonal also. We see this often in September, October, but because of I'll just say the crazy year that we're having with prices and fluctuations and expectations, I expect to see more listings than maybe we normally would see for September, October. A bunch of those people, and here's where I'm kind of going to throw some advice out there. A bunch of those sellers that are going back onto the market from previously being on the market, come back on the market, a lot of those are going to do exactly the same thing. There's going to be no change in their listings. The marketing will be the same, the photos will be the same, the realtor will be the same, their price might even be the same. Like, everything's going to be the same. And my only advice to those is, if you didn't have success the first time, why would you do things exactly the same way the second time? My attitude to that would be, you're probably going to get the same results as the first time. So make sure you're getting the right advice. It is a tricky market right now. Make sure you're working with a realtor that does deal in data, that can help you make good decisions for you and your family, and make sure you're working with a true professional. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're speaking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. If you're looking for a two-family home. Now, when I say two-family home, I know most people are thinking main floor and second floor is one family and another family lives in a basement. That's not at all what I'm talking about here. This is a newly built, luxurious two-family home where both families actually have space on the main floor and the second floor, living separate, privately, independent of each other in the same building. If you're looking for a home like that, check out the video at the end of this video. And because of our housing crisis that everyone's talking about, I expect to see more homes built like this in the near future. We do expect more listings to be coming on the market. All indicators point to that. So if you're a seller going onto the market now, be prepared to compete. You're competing against other listings in your neighborhood. You're competing for the buyer's attention. Man, you really got to be prepared that competition is going to be a big, big factor in you having a successful sale. Let's get started here. I have here a summary of condos, towns and semis, and detached properties. These are average sold price. Condo prices went down, semi prices went down, detached prices went down. This is for week ending August 30th. I have put a note here. This is the week prior to Labor Day. Now, I've said before on other long weekends where I talk about the numbers and I say, and keep in mind this was a long weekend. Labor Day, that Labor Day weekend, any shift in prices and data is magnified more than a normal long weekend. Labor Day weekend, last weekend in August, that's the weekend that families are preparing back to school. That's the week where lots of families are coming back from holiday. That's the kind of like the last hurrah of the summer. It's a little bit different than your regular long week. And so for this week and for next week, numbers are going to be off a little bit, but the last week of August, usually prices are down, sales are down. That's very, very typical. So let's get started with detached properties. 86 detached properties were sold for week ending August the 30th, which is down from the previous week, down from the previous few weeks. 16 properties were sold at $2 million or more, which is also down from the previous couple weeks. And in general, sales are trending down. Average sold price, down from the previous week, now sitting at $1,497,000, so just under $1.5 million, and prices have been trending down. It's pretty clear. Compared to last year, 1,497 is 2% lower than where we were this time last year. The median price of 1.3 is the same basically as what it was this time last year. And looking at the dotted line, which is a 4-week moving average, folks, it's pretty clear. Prices have been trending down since May. This is going back 3 months. Prices have been trending down. 86 we said were sold, 51% sold at list price or more. That percentage has been trending down. Listings, 196 were listed. That's trending down. There's a lot of people choosing not to list the last week of August, the last 2 weeks of August, and decided we're so close to the Labor Day weekend, let's just list it in September. And also psychology, let me tell you, the fall, as you know, seasonality wise, if we're looking at a seasonal calendar, the fall doesn't start September 5th. The fall starts later on at the end of September. Well, in most of our minds, psychologically speaking, fall is kind of right after Labor Day. So everybody's thinking the fall right now. Oh, let me go back for a second. Active listings, it's actually down. We've been trending up for months now. But for this 1 week to the next, to the week ending August 30th, you'll see active listings. This is for detached properties. It's down, but you'll see that in semis, you'll see that in condos, you'll see that in other property types. Well, that's just because a lot of properties did come off the market the last week of August, which was what I was talking about at the beginning of this video. Months of inventory, it's up. It's sitting at 3.4 months of inventory right now. Overall, over the last 3 months and longer, has been trending upwards. We're pretty much, generally speaking, across Toronto as a whole, we're sitting in a balanced market. Now, there's some pockets, still very active, still very competitive, and then there's other markets, not so competitive. It's actually a buyer's market, but on average, all of Toronto is pretty much a balanced market right now with 3.4 months of inventory. Here's Toronto broken down into 9 sections. I'm basically going to zero in on Scarborough. 37 detached properties were sold in Scarborough for week ending August 30th. That's 43% of all the sales of detached properties in the city of Toronto. 43% just in Scarborough. And they have a months of inventory of 2. We said all of Toronto's 3.4. Scarborough still pretty much competitive, and a lot has to do with the price point of the detached market there. Here's semi-detached. 30 semi-detached properties were sold. 3 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price came way down. It's now sitting at $1,161,000. 1161 is 10% lower than where we were this time last year. Median price of 1059 is 4% lower than where the median price was a year ago. Prices for semi-detached have been trending down. Townhouses, oh no, sorry, still semis. Months of inventory sitting at 2.0 months of inventory, and that has been trending upwards. Townhouses, these are freehold townhouses and only for the city of Toronto. 7, that's it. The previous week we sold 5, this week we sold 7. It's really hard to get a true average, really reliable data when we're talking about sales this slow. 7 townhouses were sold. 1 of those was at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price sitting at $1,324,000. Because the sales are so low, this is why you see huge peaks and valleys in the data for freehold townhouses. The average price of $1,324 is 24% higher where we were this time last year. The median price is 17% higher from where we were this time last year. Months of inventory sitting at 4. 4 months of inventory. Months of inventory overall has been trending up for townhouses. Here's condos. 197 condos were sold, which surprisingly that's up quite a bit from the previous week. So 197 were sold. Overall, sales have been trending down. 11 of those condos were sold at $1 million or more, which is half of what we sold the previous week. We sold 22 the previous week at $1 million or more. Week ending August 30th, we sold 11. Average sold price has come down to $709,000. Average sold price has been trending down. 709 is lower than the lowest month for average prices we had the previous year, which was $738,000. Compared to last year, 709 is 5% lower than where we were a year ago. The median price of $660 is 1% lower than where we were a year ago. Prices for condos have been trending down, not as aggressive as the detached market has, but still trending down. It's pretty clear. And I'm looking at the dotted line again, which is a 4-week moving average. 197 we said were sold. 31% sold at list price or more. So that's way down from where we were before. 520 were listed, which is trending down the listings over the last few weeks, but we're listing many more condos than what was being put on the market last year. And months of inventory sitting at 4.0 months of inventory. and that has been trending up. Pretty much a balanced market when it comes to condos. Here's a quick summary. It's pretty safe to say that the market right now, the Toronto real estate market, is a balanced market. Sure, you're going to find pockets in different parts of Toronto being a different type of market, whether it's a seller's market or a buyer's market, but generally speaking, for detached, semis, towns, condos, pretty much a balanced market across the city of Toronto. We do expect more listings. Now check out the awesome two-family home coming up right now. Have a great day. Welcome to 4027 Bloor Street West in Etobicoke. Before I show you the inside of this home, let me tell you what makes it so unique. It has in all 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms. It has 9-foot and 10-foot ceilings. Each room has its own individual climate control. These are all luxury features you would expect from a custom-built home. But what really stands out in this home is that it was designed from the very beginning for 2 families to live separate and independent of each other, both above grade. Let me start by showing you the principal residence. So this is the principal residence. Including the finished basement, you have 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, about 3,000 square feet. So here's the finished basement. It has 10-foot ceilings, an entertainment area, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a private walk-up to the backyard. So this is the private, self-contained, luxurious secondary suite with 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Have a look.